Welcome back to another Medtech Snapshot. I'm excited to have my friend Michelle join us here. Michelle is the VP of Quality, and we're going to be chatting about an interesting topic, which is cybersecurity. So, Michelle, would love to get your feedback on your perspective from an RAQA. Just how is cybersecurity impacting that particular function within medical device companies, especially as we look at keeping data safe and looking at the regulatory standard side of things?
Yeah, so I think it's a great question, and it's something that a lot of people are struggling with, especially on the medical device side, right? So we have cybersecurity that is related to devices, and I think there's more and more medical devices where this becomes relevant, right? Whether this is a relatively simple device that has some software, some firmware, or something that's more complex and includes things like Bluetooth. When you look at cybersecurity and you look at the regulations, what you're finding is, again, it's all based on risk, right? So what is the risk here? How do we understand what the risk in the device is? How do we mitigate those risks? And so the thing I think particularly difficult at the moment is that regulations around cybersecurity around the globe are not harmonized. We've seen a lot of harmonization if you think about the acceptability of 13485, something like that, across device. But when you look at cybersecurity and the requirements there, that hasn't happened yet, right? FDA has put out guidance that says starting October 1st of 2023, they will not be accepting submissions. They'll be pushing them back if they don't meet the requirements that were in guidance before. There's also international guidance in the IECs. There's AMI guidance that shows up. So there's a lot of different requirements. And I think people are struggling through what do they need to meet? What should they meet? And when do they need to meet them by? And in some cases, this means as well that you need to think about how you're integrating these requirements into design. Do you have the right people resources? Do you have things like cybersecurity engineers? Do cybersecurity engineers, which are usually working for tech companies, even know to think about medical device as a potential career move, right? So getting those resources can sometimes be difficult. So I think a lot of that on the product side is really complex. If you then add into that, let's say, Bluetooth, you find that regulators, there are new regulators that you need to now interact with, right? So if you have Bluetooth as an example, you have more risk from a cybersecurity perspective because your device does interact with the outside world, but it also means you need to interact with new regulators. You may need to get clearance from the FCC, something that usually companies that are medical device don't think about. And as you look at a global environment, now you're looking at a lot more requirements that, again, are not calibrated or integrated between all of those. So I think that's, as companies are looking at it, it's really understanding what are the standards, what's the complexity of the device, how do you start with risk, how do you figure out how to integrate that into your whole process, right? So that you get full integration through your process, and then to make sure that you're keeping aware of what the new requirements are as they come up, because I think they will continue to evolve as regulators also learn this space.